from Trevecca Nazarene University, and we're dealing with the graduate education program that she is in charge of at Trevecca Nazarene University. And of course, Dr. Simpson, before we move from the graduate education program at Trevecca, let's have you to give us some additional information relative to some of the other programs that are involved in the graduate education program at Trevecca. We understand that there are several others outside of the one that you're in charge of, and so let's talk about that for the next few minutes.
I've talked a lot, Dr. Haney, about my program, the Masters of Arts in Teaching program.
Because that's the most important program that we want to deal with.
That's the one I'm personally dealing with, because it's preparing teachers.
Good.
But what Trevecca has done historically and done extremely well is that we have an ed leadership program too, and we prepare principals. It has been very successful. We have, some of our graduates are superintendents of schools in some of the counties, but we have an excellent program designed for those students who wish to come back and get a Master's of Education in Educational Leadership. And that program in particular is, it has been, it's well known throughout the state. We also are going to start an ELL program, an English Language Learner program, and the need is there because of the diversity in our schools now. So what Trevecca is trying to do is that when we see a need, we're trying to address it. And what we want to do is prepare the best educators that we can, both administrators and teachers. And so our program is set up to meet those needs. And for those people who are, for teachers who are presently teaching and would like to go to that higher level, and I've been a teacher and a principal, and I think being a principal is one of the best things, most challenging, but one of the best things that you can do in life. And you still are doing something for the kids, and you're working with teachers and trying to get them to make a better contribution to your children. So Trevecca has several programs that are ed leadership, the ELL program. We're also starting an instructional technology program. We have MLIS for for people who wish to go and be librarians. So those programs are very successful. And again, I think one of the things about Trevecca that makes us, is I guess we're small, but it's that wanting to make sure that our students feel that they are the most important thing to us. And so we work with that to make sure that whatever needs they have, we try to address and make them feel comfortable, and then provide them with one of the strongest educational settings in the state.
You know, Dr. Simpson, before we end the show for today, I think that quite a bit has been said about some of the national legislation dealing with education. And one of the, I think we had a guest not long ago to talk about the evolution in terms of where we are now, in terms of what the federal government is doing in education. And we know that now we're dealing with a program that is called No Child Left Behind. And there's been quite a bit of information relative to such programs, and I think that it has. As a matter of fact, we had some persons in here not long ago who said that that program was drawing money from regular education and et cetera. So let's, from your experience, let's have you to give us some information in reference to the No Child Left Behind legislation, and how you see that as working as part of your program, either whether or not it can work into your program.
I think if you are preparing teachers in this day and time, there is no way that you cannot look at and consider No Child Left Behind. It is one of the most significant pieces of legislation that has been passed to impact education. I tell my students when we start talking about No Child Left Behind, I said, I always want you to remember one thing before we do anything else. The intent of that law was honorable. All children, regardless of what their conditions, it doesn't matter. They deserve a quality education. So the intent is honorable. However, there's some issues that I think that will have to be addressed if No Child Left Behind is going to be totally effective and reach the goals, those lofty goals. The first thing you have to look at, it is not totally funded to the level that it should be. And as a result, some of the states are questioning this. How can we put in all of these mandates if the funding is not there. So I think when you look at No Child Left Behind, when our people in Washington look at it and they're saying, this is what I want you to do, then they have to realize they have to provide the appropriate funds. The other thing is, and this is just my personal opinion, is that you can't put schools in any kind of cookie cutter type system. It's not a one size fits all. And when you talk about testing, students should be accountable. Teachers ought to be accountable. So there's nothing wrong with that. But this is high stakes. And we put so much on those tests. That test is not representing everything we need to know about that child. He has to pass the test. But accountability should be more, I think it should be more global in a sense, that you're just not zeroing in on one particular thing. So when you look at it, I think there are things that need to be addressed, and when the states, the systems raise issues, I think that it has to be addressed in Washington, because if they're going to be doing things and make this law